Welcome to Detailer's Roadmap Cruise Control, helping you navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control. Hey guys, it's Kevin Davis from the Cruise Control Podcast. This is episode number 5. I'm here today with a good friend of mine, Daniel Chaffee from Cherokees. Daniel's a fabricator, builder, small business owner, dad of 6, which we'll talk more about, and he's got a really cool, inspiring story. So I thought I'd share that with you and get some insight on kind of starting and running a fabrication business, running a small business. So welcome, Daniel. Thank you very much, man.
Hey, nice to be here. Yeah, Kevin pretty much hit it on the head there. We're a small business, and we've been around for about 3 years now, and there's just a lot we've learned over the past few years, and a lot of connections we made. So just here to kind of share my story a little bit, and hopefully inspire some to do the same.
Yeah, so why don't you kind of walk us through what you were doing before? Give me a little bit about your background, share your family if you want to, whatever you want to share there, and just kind of how did you get where you are now? I know we both, Ruggeder Store, which Daniel's a customer of mine from my Ruggeder Store band, so Ruggeder Store brand, and we kind of, those two brands, you were kind of doing your thing, and I was doing my thing, similar time period. So kind of give me that background on how you got to where you are, and what led you here.
Sure. Yeah. So I was born and raised in Buffalo, and I moved down to Florida and after I graduated high school, and I was working for a machine shop, and that's where I learned a lot of what I learned, and was there for about 8 years and got to the point where I was just running that shop. And you can only be somewhere for so long until you're just ready to move on, and I moved to another company that allowed me to kind of build some things on my own, as well as, doing work stuff. And I bought a Grand Cherokee and wanted to build it out. And it was right at the start of COVID. So you couldn't really get parts. You couldn't get a hold of anyone to even find out about parts. I decided I was going to build a few myself. I did. And I posted a few pictures. Had a few people contact me to, manufacture. And I wasn't tooled up to do it. So I decided I was going to sell some blueprints. You don't need a business license. You don't need anything to sell blueprints. I sold about 20 copies in a week, and it was just enough to pay for a welder and set up my business. So we literally had nothing invested starting off. We started from nothing. We still don't have anything invested. We just keep a low overhead.
Yeah, because you build all your equipment, right?
Yeah. So a lot of our equipment we build ourselves, and we actually we still sell blueprints for some of it, and just pretty neat. We allow other manufacturers to kind of tool up at a fraction of the cost. It's pretty cool. And but yeah, we started up the business, and I poured a little slab, a couple little tarp carports, and I gave myself a 2-year plan. In 2 years I wanted to be able to stop my day job and do my own thing full time. And within 6 months or so, we got so busy I had to quit my day job. I didn't have a choice. It was either do one or the other.
Yeah which is a good thing, right?
Oh yeah Awesome problem to have. I'll tell you though, jumping off from doing a day job to doing my own thing, taking that leap was the hardest thing I ever did. It was the best thing I ever did. And, no regrets there whatsoever. But man, that changes your whole perspective on life, and it really, really makes the important things become your forefront. It makes you realize that your family is important, not your job. The thing that you have passion for is important, not working for somebody else.
Yeah, and you've got, so, I mean, you have, the reason your company's name is Six Monkeys is because you have 6 kids, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we have 6 kids. They range from 5 all the way up to 14. And, I wanted to be able to be home and still do what I want to do and watch my kids grow up. I don't want to miss out on that. That's the most important thing in life is just being with family. And, them younger years, you never get that back.
Yeah.
You know,
And so when you were working for somebody else, you were gone quite a bit then. I guess you would, I don't know how far, you kind of live out in the country part of Florida.
Yeah.
So did you have, like, were you gone quite a bit with that?
it was a day job, 5 days a week. I had an hour commute and I worked 12-hour shifts. So it was,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was, took a lot of time. And, when you only have a little bit of time, you don't get to do what you want to do and be with your family. So it's kind of had to put your own personal things aside to be able to be with your family.
Yeah.
It's funny. I get a lot of naysayers who just, they're like, oh, he's just building parts out of his backyard, I think it's awesome. I get to be home. I get to be with my kids. I get to watch them grow up. I get to teach my 5-year-old how to run a press brake, and it's awesome. It's an awesome.
Yeah. And does she, so are they all welding? Now, are they all learning how to weld and learning some of those kind of skills?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They all have their own interests, so the youngest one, my youngest daughter, she's 5. She loves to come out and weld. She loves to be in the shop. She likes to get dirty. Some of the older ones, not so much. They like to be in the office. They like to help out in there and help out in shipping, My boys, they're a little wild. They come out, they try to help, but they get sidetracked. So we just let them do their own thing. We don't push anything on them. We just let them find their niche and what they want to do. That's how you succeed in life. Give them the tools that they need to succeed, and you let them do what they want to do. You don't. So, but yeah,
that's for sure.
It's a lot of fun. It's never a dull moment.
I'm sure there's plenty of variety there with having all of them. And I'm actually been to your shop, and it's just right. It's kind of like my deal. I've worked out of the house for 20 plus years, and I'm sure it's nice to be able to come have lunch or have the kids around and kind of do your thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's makes it real comfortable, I think we're up to 4 employees now. So I kind of, to an extent, I kind of do the same thing with them. I don't give them rules. I don't give them set times to work. They make their own hours. They do their own thing. And I really just try to be a leader to everybody. Give them the tools that they need and let them succeed, even my employees. And it's important to have your have your kids and have your employees to be there to support them, because they're always going to be there to support you. It's just like the community. You're going to support the community. The community's going to take care of you. Same thing.
Yeah, so you have kind of your own little mini community that you build, and then you can support and be a part of the bigger community, for sure. So you started selling the blueprints, and then, which you're still doing, right? And so talk to me about, you, like you said, you bought your Grand Cherokee. I have a 2021 Grand Cherokee that we've talked about parts and stuff for. I don't think my wife will let it cut it up quite yet, because she has a Wrangler that she likes to do that too. But talk to me about one of the things. So this podcast gets listened to by a lot of detailers and automotive guys. And the big thing that they always talk about is the riches are in the niches. And I mean, you can't get much more niche than what you do, which is, how many, there's 7 model years that you service of a particular vehicle.
Yeah. So there's actually 11 years.
11 years.
2011 to 22. Yep. And Mopar made over 250,000 per year for the United States alone.
Wow, per
So
year. I
there's
didn't realize there were that many.
Yeah. Yeah. Huge number. And, they built more for overseas than they did for here. And then being what we do, we ship worldwide. So we're one of the few that can hit every corner of the world. We've got parts everywhere. We've got parts just in Germany and Dubai and Alaska. We've got stuff everywhere, man. It's just everywhere.
That's awesome.
But yeah, being in a niche market, I have two competitors. They're both over in Australia, so we're the only U.S.-based manufacturer, and we've pretty much dominated the market, at least as far as here. I don't know about overseas, but definitely here.
And you guys make some really cool stuff. I mean, that's you. So the cool thing about what you do, and I think what most fabricators tend to do, is that it's not like you're just some, office monkey that draws up some things that they think will fit, and then you kind of send them out and, have them welded up in, Taiwan or Korea or wherever, and China, and then, hope they fit, which we've used some of those kind of parts on different projects, and you just expect to hog out the holes, you use pry bars to get them to fit, but you're using them on your vehicle so you can test and design and fabricate and everything, right?
Yeah. Yep. So we have a Grand Cherokee that's fully built out. It's a 2015 diesel. It's just an awesome rig, man. It's just up and down, everything you could think of. It hauls butt. We love it. The cool thing about us is being as small as we are, we have absolute control. We design everything, we test fit everything, we manufacture everything, we code everything with really good bad monitor, by the way. And we ship everything. So we handle all the customer service. I do personally. And everything is real time. So you get a hold of me and you're talking to me. So we run the website so customers can get on, place their order. I personally get their orders. We take the orders, put them on a board. I start the whole thing with cutting everything out. Everything goes to a cleanup station, then a weld station. Coating gets shipped out, so it's all one place. You're not you don't have an office guy that's just kicking plans to somebody else to build it for you. We're doing everything. And that's just front to back. Anywhere from doing that first initial contact with customer service to helping them install their stuff afterwards. So it's having that control is awesome, and knowing our products and building them, we know every product that goes out is going to fit. There's no guesswork. There's no drilling out holes or cutting stuff to try and get some Chinese thing to fit.
Yeah. Now in the Grand Cherokee, one of the things with like, we've got a Wrangler TJ, but it's an 04. So there's that 03 to 06 Rubicon and those Jeeps. For whatever reason, Jeep was like, hey, we only have 3 years left. Let's just completely change like 12 things on this, or 20 things on this rig. Yeah. Do they do it? Is there any of that kind of stuff on the GCs?
They do, and it's a pain in the butt. So the GC is so complicated. The 11 through the 13 has one body style. The 14 and the 15 has a different body style. And the 16 and up is the third body style. So when we build things, we have to cross-reference measurements and make sure that product is going to fit all three. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But then you also have variations where you have Summit models that have different body lines, different body panels. You have different motors, so different suspension setups. So there's a lot of variables. And, we have to be able to source all of those rigs and all of those models to be able to test fit stuff. So sometimes it's not always practical to do it all here. So we put a product fitment guarantee on all of our products. We tell people straight up, hey, this might fit, this might not fit. If it doesn't fit, how about you respond back to me, and we'll work it out. We'll figure out what fits, and we'll send you a new product. And then we then have those changes. So when we build that next set, we can make it fit that one as well as the other models that we do have. So it's extensive. It's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, so because it's not really practical to have $1 million worth of Grand Cherokees sitting in your front yard, although that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but it's not always practical to have a 10 grand worth of car payments a month or whatever. So yeah, because we've got the 2021, which I specifically did not buy the 2022 when we bought ours because I liked that old body style. It still looks a little bit more rugged, and I didn't go quite as big as you did on the new tires, and because I didn't want to cut anything. But I got bigger tires. It looks 100 times better on that. But our Trailblazer, the Trail Hawk version of ours, how many? Yeah. When I was shopping, I was like, really? Do they need 15 different packages for this thing? Like, it's crazy what Jeep does. It really is.
Yeah. So the Trackhawk is pretty neat. It has it'll have the select terrain, so you have the air suspension, and you have the a couple skid plates that other models don't have. But really, there's nothing a whole lot special about it. Just because a lot of them guys that are going to go take their rigs off road, they can still get sliders, they can still get the skid plates, they can, So there's this fallacy in the whole world where if you're going to take your GC off road, it has to be a Trailhawk, and it's just not the case.
Yeah, these things are totally capable, right out of the gate. We have we put factory rock sliders on ours, which are nice because they're fully integrated, and not that, given what this thing cost and the fact that it's 20,000 miles, we're going to Moab in a couple weeks, and I don't think I'm taking it on, fins and things just to prove a point at this point. But it is crazy for what would be it's not quite as luxury as like a Grand Wagoneer or one of those kind of things, but really some of these things are super nice and well equipped, and they make a great off-road vehicle. So you're making everything kind of to order, right?
Everything.
Okay.
So the cool thing about having total control front to back is we give the customers ability to customize things.
Okay.
So if you want your name cut out on something, you want your logo cut out on something, we can do that. If you want it a different color, we can do that. And we still keep our lead times down to anywhere from 5 to 10 business days, really. And but being able to have that control, we kind of extend that to the customer. They're able to build out their rig the way they want it, and to have it truly customized, not just some part that you buy from a catalog.
Right. And that's something from a customer perspective that, and with, again, we talk a lot about like your ideal customer and picking the right customer. And then, so for what you do, it really is a great niche, because most off-road people are not going to say, hey, I need this at Amazon speed. I need this particular part in 2 days, unless it's like a fabrication shop or a upfitting shop that's trying to build customer vehicles, which they need to just plan ahead. But it fits nicely because that you're getting kind of these off-road rig owners that then fit that model. We talk about it, this goes out to a lot of detailers, and we talk about it in that scenario. Like, we don't want certain types of customers for detailing and ceramic coatings and tint and vinyl. And so, because not all of them understand your business and understand what it takes.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a similarity, most of our stuff we do really good with install videos and giving customers information of, what they need to install it themselves, even if they've never owned a set of tools before, we want to be able to give that to them. But to an extent, there are some people who just can't turn a wrench, and
right.
Those are the ones that we're like, okay, this is above you. Let's find you a shop.
Right.
We'll work with their area to find them a shop to help them install stuff. So it's we're not so, I guess, all of our customers we appreciate. So
Yeah.
we don't really have that nightmare customer. We just got to help them understand, help them go down the path that they want to go.
Which, if anybody's listening has done an installation of any off-road part or automotive part that requires you to take stuff apart and follow directions, you will know that it's horrible. Like the instructions that you get. So we've got like 5 parts left on Michelle's Wrangler, and so we've replaced essentially every part on the thing except for the doors. Still has the straight 6, which is going away soon for an LS. It's got the tub and the top, and that's it. So every part of the suspension has been. So we get like 90% of the way through, a new short arm suspension lift, a lift kit on it, like a 4-inch lift kit. And then they missed a step that we had never installed a lift before. And so we really didn't have all those steps in mind. And so I'm like, you have to be kidding me. Cause we had to take half the suspension apart to go back and do it was like a drag link or something like that needed to be, this particular thing would only go in at that step.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're doing videos and instructions and all that you definitely set you apart from most of this industry for sure.
The 2 things you don't get is video instructions, and you don't get that back end customer service that these parts deserve. And that's, we care about what we do. A lot of these other manufacturers, they don't care. They're there to make money. They want to sell you a product. They don't care what you do with it after that. They don't care if it ever gets put on your rig. They don't care. We want to get, your parts installed. We want to get your stuff on there. And there's nothing more powerful than a video.
Right.
If you can do a good step-by-step video showing your product, whether it's selling your product or doing the back end stuff of helping people install it, nothing beats that. There's just
right.
You can write down stuff all day long, but there's always communication that is lost. The same thing with a text message, right? There's only so much that you can put into a text message in communication. There's no feeling. There's no, you're gonna lose a lot of communication. When you can do a video and relate to people, you're going to do great. And front end or back end, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and are you doing most of your videos yourself?
So we hire a guy that comes in he flies in from Seattle. So he'll come in 2 to 3 times a year and shoot all of our content. And he'll, produce it, edit it, and do all these things. And he'll slowly release it through the year. So
nice.
We just, we keep him on a retainer. So he's always there for us. And he's just one of the best guys I've ever worked with. He's awesome.
That's awesome.
Comes in and does his thing.
So here's a question about, being in a high touch, we talk a lot about scalability, and being in a very high touch, high customer service, build to order kind of business. How are you, because that's a challenge, right? To scale that type of thing. Like, are you dealing with, okay, I need this kind of margin, I need this kind of profit so that I can still give that high touch and not sell as much? Or how are you planning on the scalability thing? Because that seems like a big challenge.
Okay, so we've limited ourselves intentionally.
Okay,
and this comes along with that family thing that we started off with. We don't want to get big. We don't want to get huge. It's when we start getting into a corporate kind of a setting, people become numbers, and passion is lost, and we've gotten ourselves to the point where we're as big as we want to be. We don't want to get any bigger. We don't want to lose what we have. We don't want to lose that communication with our customer. And I guess it kind of goes into this whole thing of wealth. To us, money is not wealth. We have fulfillment. We're happy. We live a good life, and we are wealthy. We enjoy everything. So why push that over, into a tipping point where there's no stepping back?
Yeah. And I absolutely love that. I interviewed a guy the other day that runs a pretty large detail shop. I think he's got 5 or 6 employees, and it's a large operation, but he purposely wants to grow it.
Yeah.
But one of the things we talked about is you have to do whatever's best for your business, your life, and your family, because not everybody needs to be a $5 million a year company.
Yeah.
And so to have that, and one of the things I do on some of my other content is, talk about redefining success, right? Like what that looks like. And I think you're a perfect example of defining your own success in a way that you have built something that is sustainable. You're still at, from order to door, probably less than 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, probably, which is very reasonable, for a custom built, ready to install product. Cause, we've ordered custom, we have custom almost everything on Michelle's Jeep, but it's like, it takes 4 weeks to get there. And then I had to have it put powder coated, and then we had to, install it and it's raw and, all of that. But I mean, your stuff is ready to install. So I think that's awesome that you have, first of all, that you've defined that for yourself. And secondly, that you're already there.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
It's really, really fast 3 years. And it's crazy how fast we grew. I mean, we put up buildings, man. We put in facilities. We've gone from having a little welder to having just CNC machinery and 3D printers and laser engravers and just everything. So I mean, it's a lot. It can be overwhelming. It's hard to keep going and not look back to where you came from. And I think a lot of people fail to do that. A lot of people get into this game of owning their own business, and they forget why they did it.
Yeah.
And that's when they start to fail. That's they give up their own morals and their own reasons, and that's why they start to fail. But yeah, you seem to do okay. So.
It's going well so far, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the, so we benefited a lot. And again, we kind of, when I launched Rugged Restore and was probably similar timing as when you launched your business. And I didn't grow quite at the level that you did in terms of like start to finish. I'd already built a little bit, but we benefit from that COVID, what I call is the COVID economy, because people were home, they had extra quote unquote free money. We won't go too much into that, but like for those of us in the automotive space, in the retail automotive space, man, it was great because people were just ordering like crazy. Yeah. But you benefited from that. I did too, but it's great because you were able to use that as a springboard to build a whole, sustainable business out of it.
Yeah. When I started, I couldn't get parts for myself. So it was either I built them or I didn't get them. And a lot of people seen that too. And I had a lot of people push me on like, hey, Dan, you need to do this. You need to do this. And, so there's a few people I blame for my success, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's next? You just kind of keep doing, you're developing. I mean, I'm constantly amazed at the number of new products that you come out with. And it actually makes me feel badly about myself because I'm like, damn it, he came out with another new thing, And so, I mean, is that kind of, how big of a catalog do you want to have? You want to just have a big catalog, but small number of customers? Is that kind of what your goal is?
So here's my take on it, right? So I'm a creative person. I love to build things. I love to design things. I like making new things. And it's when I get to a point where I have some slow time where orders just aren't filling out our time, I'll keep my guys busy and I'll break off to make a new product. And when you make a new product and you develop it and you get it tested and put it on the market, that's going to fill more time.
Yeah.
So, and then once you start making this big catalog, and then you have these busy periods like tax return time, like we're just getting past that. We get these huge orders that come in and it just swamps us, but we're able to keep up because we're not just running one part at a time. We're doing it like a production setup. So we're running 15 of one thing at a time.
Okay.
We're fulfilling these orders just as at the same speed. We're just building more product. So it's kind of neat to be able to fill those voids and keep adding things, and eventually it's going to take up all of our time, and we just won't add anymore. We just won't have time to. So
I kind of doubt whether or not you will stop inventing new products, but just because that's, like you said, you're a creative guy that always, and you'll find some problem within your own rig that you need to solve, and then all of a sudden it's on the table being cut out for customers.
Yep.
I'm sure.
So on the same hand too, once I have time freed up, we have other avenues set up, so we're always looking at the future, like worst case scenarios, that kind of thing. And that way it keeps our business healthy. It keeps it growing. So we have, Amazon sellers accounts set up. We have eBay accounts set up, and we're not utilizing them because we don't have to.
Okay.
But if we get to a point where we do need to utilize them, they're already set up. They're ready to go. So we have our fail safes in place to sustain. We're not trying to grow bigger, so we're not putting them into to work yet.
Yeah,
but we have them in place if we need to. So you can't keep all your eggs in one basket. You gotta spread them out a little bit.
Yeah, I think Amazon is one of those. I kind of think they're the devil, even though I sell on Amazon and I sell a lot. I just got a deposit this morning from them. I treat them as like the worst possible distributor that you could ever have. And as long as you have that kind of context and that kind of mentality, but yeah, eBay's great because it's almost like what you do now. It's just a different channel. Amazon is kind of its own animal, like a terrible animal, but
I have my eBay story.
Yeah. Okay.
This is great. So when I first started up, I needed to jumpstart my SEO work, and we couldn't. We set up an account on eBay to sell on eBay. We didn't want to because their fees are just crazy. They just eat into us so bad. So we posted quite a few of our products on eBay for just 10 times the cost of what we would sell it for. So we had no intention on selling anything on eBay whatsoever. But just because we were posting that on eBay, the SEO went through the roof. So when you looked up a product for a Grand Cherokee, it would pop up on eBay. They would go to that, a customer would go to that listing, say, oh, well, Six Monkeys is making this, but I'm not paying that much for it. And they would go to our website and order it.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was a whole, we still had that small monthly fee, whatever it was, $5 a listing. But it was worth it just for the SEO work.
Yeah. Or they may assume that it was a wrong price entered or a typo or something like that, because they're like, there's no way these guys are selling it for that, right? And so that's an interesting strategy. I like that a lot. Yeah. So as someone that started, so there's a lot of detailers, and automotive shops that start like you did, which is kind of this side hustle thing. Like, what kind of advice would you give to guys and girls kind of wanting to do that same thing, and knowing that everybody's path is a little bit different and everybody what they want to do?
It's don't do what you want to do, but listen to your customer base. If you don't listen to your customer base, you'll never give them a product that they want. And same thing with the service, you got to give them the service that they want. You also have to learn how to take criticism. Take it in, soak it in, learn from it, and evolve from it. You can never stop evolving. That's my biggest thing, And if you don't have a passion for what you do, you're not going to be successful.
Yes.
That's my biggest advice with that.
Nice. And did you go out, I assume you're spending time on Facebook groups, or kind of, how did you get to know your customer? One nice thing is that, and again, detailing's the same way. You're most of the time you are your ideal customer already. So it's kind of a way to start. But then did you go to Facebook groups? And I mean, back in the day it was forums, but probably by the time you started, the forums weren't as have not been that big. But
so I mean, I started off on Facebook groups primarily, and then we do a lot of our marketing and everything else on social media. We don't do anything local. We don't do anything. We don't pay for advertising at all.
Nice.
Sort of just paying our video guy. But I think it's kind of funny how many people are on social media, and how many people your posts reach that you never actually realize.
Mm-hmm.
And being that we only advertise on social media, and we have interactions with a lot of these people before they make a sale, but there's still tons of them that place orders that we don't know where they came from. So there's a lot of people on Facebook that won't interact in the community, but they're there. They see it, and you're always making a bigger impact than you think.
Right.
So we have our own community support page, and that's an awesome resource. So not only customers of ours can go there, but anyone can go there and ask questions about our products. And it kind of frees me up too. So if customers have problems with installation, they can go and ask some questions there, and they'll get answers from 15 other people who have installed it. So that frees me up a lot. I'm not having to answer so many questions, so many emails. Kind of let the community take care of itself a little bit. You just have to set that community up to let them take care of themselves. We also, so I also personally run the largest WK2 off-road page in the world.
Nice.
So that was a page that was set up just years and years and years ago. And the guys that ran it, they've seen what I was doing, and that I was a community member that was building for the community. I wasn't a company that was there to sell things.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you're here for the community, and we want you to take over this page. So they handed it to me, and we keep it fair. We're in really good contact with our competitors just constantly. And, they do their posts there, and we kind of to an extent hold them accountable too. When they have customers that have issues, we make sure that they handle it. We're not just another company doing our thing. We're making sure that other businesses are taking care of their customers in the community.
That's cool.
So it's a pretty wild thing, but it works for everybody. Again, it's one of them things where you take care of your community will take care of you.
Yeah, and I think it points out that finding the right group of customers that are almost it's a group that's self-supporting, and then it's a little bit different when you're dealing with parts and that kind of thing. But still, I mean, like the Jeep community, for example, is one of those communities that you don't have a lot of kind of dickheads there. I mean, every group has that, but I think for the most part, I mean, we've done the Rubicon Trail and Moab and all that, and you'll have somebody will break something, and you'll have 6 rigs around them, with make-do welders and come pulling parts out of their Jeeps and all that, just to support, to the point where when you stop and see that, you basically say, hey, do you need any more help? Do you need anything? Are you guys good? And if they don't, then you just move on. But it's and if you find those right niches, then that community that you can serve is you fit so well in that community that it self-sustains, and it self-markets and is able to kind of form those relationships. And I think it works fine for any, or just as well for any automotive business and detailing business and other types of businesses as well.
Yeah. The people underestimate the community, and they underestimate what kind of an impact a company can have on a community. And it's you do go by the community, they take care of you. It's just how it is.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like we actually have a another group. It's called Venture Unknown, and they are based out of the Carolinas, Tennessee, and they do a lot of group rides and stuff like that. But they also go around and they clean up the trails. They do a lot of community work, and huge community. I really suggest being a part of it. They're just awesome. They're actually bringing us down a trailer for us to build out. We're going to build them out a trash trailer, so they can have a little off-road trailer. They can pick up trash while they're
Oh, that's cool.
So, yep. So we're gonna help them guys out. We're gonna build it out for them next month. Be here in a couple weeks.
Nice. And is your video guy coming down for that?
I think he'll be here. So we'll see.
Nice. Yeah. Go ahead and shoot some content while you're at it. We're gonna shoot some content at Moab. So always be creating, right? That's the mantra for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, this has been super interesting. I love your overall attitude about business. I love that you've got your kids involved. I know your wife does more work than you do, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I know that you guys run it's like a true family business, and I love the fact that you can sit and say, this is what we want to build. We built it, and we're going to continue to build it, but only the way that we want to do it and to the level that we want to do it, right?
Yep, exactly.
So how do people find you? Social media and web and all that?
Mostly social media is the best place to get a hold of me. You can look up Six Monkeys. Our website is www.sixmonkeys.net. You can find us on YouTube. That's Six Monkeys Off-Road. I think we have a TikTok account and Instagram, so you can find us there. And you can always just hop on and hop on the website. You can find my email on there and shoot me a message.
Awesome. And that's six. That's the number 6 monkeys, by the way. With the so not SIX, but so cool. Well, man, I appreciate you taking the time today. I know that you got stuff to do, so we'll let you get back to the table and creating new things. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Kevin. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Get your one-stop success solution at detailersroadmap.com today.